recent Stanford neuroscience investigation uncovered something remarkable about an ancient Tibetan breathing technique. This 5,000-year-old protocol elevates BDNF, the brain's primary growth factor, by 300% beyond what standard meditation achieves. Some researchers express concern about the speed at which it restructures neural architecture. This practice remained concealed within Tibetan monasteries for centuries. Ancient practitioners understood it could fundamentally alter human consciousness. Modern science has finally validated what they knew. What researchers discovered challenges everything conventional wisdom suggests about your brain's capacity to heal, optimize, and transform your experience of reality. Within minutes, you'll understand exactly how to execute this technique, what the scientific evidence reveals, and why this long-protected knowledge might represent the element you've been missing. The neuroscience community is experiencing a paradigm shift. Research teams studying breathwork protocols and their effects on the nervous system are finding extraordinary results. Specific breathing patterns don't merely induce calmness. They literally rewire your brain at the cellular level. This distinction proves critical. Brain-derived neurotrophic factor, abbreviated as BDNF, functions as the protein that generates new brain cells and dissolves old trauma patterns. Consider it fertilizer for neural tissue. When BDNF levels surge, your neurons begin forming new connections, obsolete pain patterns dissolve, and your brain essentially upgrades its operating system. Most individuals operate with chronically depleted BDNF levels, meaning their brains remain locked in outdated patterns of stress, discomfort, and limitation. For thousands of years, Tibetan monks practiced a specific breathing sequence that modern neuroscientists recently discovered triggers massive BDNF release. These ancient masters recognized something profound. Breath represents the sole component of your autonomic nervous system accessible to conscious control. When you manipulate it through precise methods, you unlock your brain's dormant potential. The protocol activates your vagus nerve, the primary highway connecting your brain to every major organ system. When you stimulate this nerve correctly, you trigger what researchers call the relaxation response, though the effects extend far deeper. You're essentially activating the brain's reset mechanism, clearing obsolete trauma circuits and constructing new pathways for focus, pain relief, and even reality manifestation. This remained secret in Tibetan monasteries for centuries because monks understood its power. They recognized that breath, applied correctly, represents the fastest method to alter consciousness and reshape experience. I call this the 555 protocol. It's not merely a breathing exercise but a systematic procedure. When you follow this exact sequence, you're executing a proven program that neuroscientists have validated in laboratory environments. Begin with proper positioning. Sit comfortably with your spine straight. Chair or floor makes no difference. What matters is elongated spine, relaxed shoulders, and a body position that conveys alertness without tension. Place your hands on your knees, palms facing upward. This hand position isn't mystical but practical. It opens your chest cavity and permits maximum lung expansion. The inhalation phase lasts 5 seconds. Close your mouth and breathe slowly through your nose for a 5 count. The key element involves pressing your tongue tip gently to the roof of your mouth, just behind your front teeth. This activates specific nerve pathways that enhance neurological effects. Fill your lungs from bottom to top. First, your belly expands, then your rib cage, finally your upper chest. This should feel smooth and controlled, never forced. The retention phase lasts 5 seconds. At the peak of your inhalation, hold the breath for 5 seconds while keeping your tongue pressed to the roof of your mouth. This is where transformation occurs. During this retention, oxygen floods into your bloodstream while carbon dioxide builds slightly. This specific combination triggers a cascade of neurochemical changes. Your vagus nerve activates. BDNF begins releasing. Maintain relaxation during the hold with no tension in your face, neck, or shoulders. The exhalation phase lasts 5 seconds. Open your mouth slightly and release breath slowly over 5 seconds. As you exhale, drop your jaw, relax your shoulders, and release any tension you're holding. This exhalation should feel like liberation. Imagine releasing stress, obsolete patterns, and discomfort. The exhalation actually proves more important than inhalation for nervous system regulation. This is when your parasympathetic nervous system fully engages. That completes one round. 555 pattern. Inhalation, retention, exhalation. After 3 rounds, you'll notice a subtle shift, perhaps tingling in your fingers, warmth in your chest, or a sense of spaciousness in your mind. After 5 rounds, most people report significant decrease in mental chatter. Your thoughts decelerate. The constant background anxiety that most people carry begins dissolving. After 10 rounds, you've entered a completely different state. Your brain now produces theta waves, the same brain state Tibetan monks spend decades learning to access through traditional meditation. In practical terms, tension you carry in your neck and shoulders begins melting within minutes. The mental fog that makes decision-making exhausting lifts. The chronic background discomfort you've accepted as inevitable begins fading because you're rewiring the pain circuits in your brain. Let me explain what's actually occurring inside your body during this protocol. When you execute the 555 breath, you're deliberately creating a specific ratio of oxygen to carbon dioxide in your bloodstream. This ratio proves crucial. Most people chronically overbreathe, creating an imbalance that keeps them locked in fight or flight mode. The 555 protocol corrects this imbalance immediately. The vagus nerve activation functions like hitting the brain's reset button. This nerve controls everything from heart rate to digestion to your capacity for experiencing calm. When you stimulate it through controlled breathing, you're signaling your entire nervous system that safety exists, healing can occur, and growth is possible. Neuroplasticity, your brain's capacity to form new neural connections, gets turbocharged during this practice. Your brain has been executing the same programs for decades. Stress programs, pain programs, limitation programs. The 555 protocol provides your brain the signal and resources to write new code, establishing novel neural pathways for calmness, clarity, and capability. The pain relief aspect proves particularly powerful for individuals over 45. Most chronic pain isn't actually structural but neurological. Your brain has learned to generate pain signals even when no real injury exists. The 555 protocol interrupts these pain circuits. Most people notice tension melting from neck and shoulders within minutes. Headaches dissolve. That lower back discomfort you've carried for years starts easing. The practical beauty lies in its accessibility. You can use it anywhere, anytime. Perfect for morning clarity before your day starts. Ideal for midday stress when work pressure mounts. Powerful for winding down at night when your mind won't stop racing. You need no equipment, apps, or special environment. Just you and your breath. The transformation timeline demonstrates that consistency is everything. After practicing the 555 protocol twice daily for just 2 days, you'll notice improved sleep quality and reduced reactivity to stress. Small annoyances that would normally trigger you don't possess the same power anymore. By day 7, you're experiencing measurable cognitive improvements. Better focus, clearer thinking, faster decision-making. Many people report their chronic tension headaches have disappeared. Your baseline stress level has dropped significantly. After 3 weeks of consistent practice, just 10 minutes daily, you've built new neural pathways. Your brain has literally restructured itself. Old pain patterns have been overwritten. Your stress response system has been recalibrated. You're operating from a completely different neurological foundation. Rewire your brain in 21 days with just 10 minutes daily. Neuroscience validates this timeline. Results emerge from people across demographics using this protocol. Executives dealing with high-pressure decisions. Veterans working through chronic stress and pain. Professionals in their 50s and 60s who thought cognitive decline was inevitable now experiencing mental clarity they haven't had in decades. One individual eliminated chronic stress headaches in a week after dealing with them for 15 years. He tried medications, physical therapy, even injection treatments. Nothing worked long-term. 7 days of the 555 protocol twice daily eliminated the headaches because they were never really about his head. They originated from his overactive nervous system, which this protocol completely resets. Another person reported shoulder pain from an old injury disappeared after 2 weeks. He'd accepted it as permanent, but pain is often a neural pattern rather than physical reality. change the pattern, eliminate the pain. The ancient Tibetan masters knew this technique could fundamentally alter human consciousness. Modern neuroscientists have now validated what they understood 5,000 years ago. The question becomes whether you'll actually implement it or simply consume this information and move on. Your brain will literally rewire itself if you provide the right inputs. The 555 protocol represents one of the most powerful inputs available. What makes this protocol effective transcends the mechanical act of breathing. You're engaging with a sophisticated biofeedback system that has evolved over millions of years. Your respiratory system connects directly to the most primitive parts of your brain, the structures responsible for survival, emotional processing, and threat detection. When you consciously manipulate breathing patterns, you're essentially speaking the native language of these ancient brain regions, communicating directly with systems that typically operate beneath conscious awareness. The tongue placement isn't arbitrary tradition but sophisticated anatomy. Pressing your tongue to the roof of your mouth completes an energetic circuit in traditional Eastern medicine while simultaneously engaging the trigeminal nerve, one of the largest cranial nerves with direct connections to brainstem regions controlling arousal and attention. This dual activation, respiratory manipulation combined with specific oral positioning, creates a synergistic effect that amplifies the neurological response beyond what either component achieves independently. The 5-second rhythm itself aligns with natural cardiovascular patterns. Your heart rate naturally varies with your breath cycle, accelerating slightly during inhalation and decelerating during exhalation. This phenomenon, called respiratory sinus arrhythmia, represents a healthy sign of cardiovascular flexibility. The 5-second intervals optimize this natural variation, training your cardiovascular system toward greater coherence and resilience. Over time, this practice doesn't just calm you temporarily. It recalibrates your baseline autonomic tone, shifting your default setting away from sympathetic dominance toward parasympathetic balance. The carbon dioxide retention during the hold phase proves particularly fascinating. Most people mistakenly believe oxygen represents the critical variable in breathing, but carbon dioxide actually plays the more crucial role in oxygen delivery to tissues. When you retain breath and allow carbon dioxide to build slightly, you're improving your body's capacity to utilize oxygen efficiently. This phenomenon, called the Bohr effect, means that the same amount of oxygen in your blood becomes more bioavailable to your tissues, including your brain. This explains why people often report improved mental clarity not just during the practice but for hours afterward. The neuroplastic changes occur through multiple mechanisms simultaneously. The combination of increased BDNF, enhanced oxygenation, reduced cortisol, and activated parasympathetic response creates an ideal environment for neural restructuring. Your brain doesn't just grow new connections randomly. It strengthens the pathways you're using while allowing unused pathways to atrophy. When you practice this protocol consistently, you're essentially telling your brain which circuits matter, which patterns to reinforce. If you practice while in a state of calm and presence, you're strengthening those neural networks. Over time, calm and presence become your default state rather than something you have to work to achieve. The pain relief mechanism operates through several pathways. First, activating the parasympathetic nervous system reduces inflammatory signaling throughout your body. Chronic inflammation contributes significantly to pain perception. Second, the practice increases endogenous opioid production, your body's natural pain-relieving compounds that work similarly to pharmaceutical opioids but without the side effects or addiction potential. Third, and perhaps most importantly, the practice interrupts the pain-attention cycle. Chronic pain often persists because your brain has learned to continuously scan for and attend to pain signals. This protocol gives your brain something else to focus on, breaking that attention loop and allowing pain circuits to quiet. The theta wave state achieved after 10 rounds represents a profound shift in consciousness. Theta waves, cycling at 4 to 8 Hz, characterize the borderland between waking and sleeping, the state where deep meditation, creative insight, and memory consolidation occur. Most people only experience theta during the transition into sleep or occasionally during very deep meditation. The 555 protocol provides a highway to this state, accessible within minutes rather than years of meditation practice. In theta, your conscious critical mind steps back, allowing your subconscious to come forward. This is why people often report spontaneous insights, emotional releases, or creative breakthroughs during or immediately after the practice. The transformation timeline reflects realistic neuroplastic change. Neural pathways don't transform instantly. They require repeated activation to strengthen. The 2-day mark reflects acute neurochemical changes, immediate shifts in neurotransmitter balance and stress hormone levels. The 7-day mark indicates early structural changes, the beginning of synaptic strengthening and new dendritic growth. The 3-week mark represents consolidated change, the point where new patterns have been rehearsed enough times that they begin operating automatically without conscious effort. This protocol works because it addresses the root cause of most modern suffering: dysregulated nervous systems. Humans evolved for environments dramatically different from contemporary life. Our nervous systems developed to handle acute stressors, brief moments of danger followed by long periods of safety and recovery. Modern life inverts this pattern, creating chronic low-grade stress without adequate recovery periods. Your nervous system remains perpetually activated, never fully entering the parasympathetic state necessary for healing, digestion, immune function, and cellular repair. The 555 protocol provides the signal your nervous system needs to enter that recovery state, essentially giving your body permission to heal. The accessibility of this practice matters tremendously. Sophisticated interventions that require special equipment, specific environments, or extensive training create barriers that prevent most people from benefiting. This protocol requires nothing external. You carry the complete technology within your own body. This makes it resilient, portable, and democratized. Whether you're in a boardroom, a car, or your bedroom, you have access to this powerful neurological reset tool. The skepticism some people feel toward breathing exercises often stems from exposure to poorly designed or overhyped techniques. The 555 protocol differs because it's built on solid neuroscience and validated by both modern research and thousands of years of empirical observation. The Tibetan monks who developed this weren't conducting controlled studies, but they were rigorous empiricists, testing and refining techniques over generations based on observable results. When modern neuroscience examines these ancient practices, it consistently finds that the monks got it right. They understood experientially what we're now confirming mechanistically. The most profound aspect of this practice isn't the immediate relaxation or pain relief, though those prove valuable. The real transformation occurs when you recognize that you possess agency over your internal state. Most people feel victimized by their own nervous systems, at the mercy of anxiety, pain, or racing thoughts. This protocol demonstrates that you can consciously shift your state, that you're not helpless before your own neurology. That realization, that felt sense of self-efficacy, often proves more transformative than the technique itself. You begin approaching life differently when you know you have a reliable tool for regulating your internal experience. Challenges that previously felt overwhelming become manageable because you know you can shift your state before responding.